Hey everybody, this is Joe Palco at 3D Cart, Chief Marketing Officer, and I would like to welcome Dan Rodham today from Advanced Shipping Manager. Hey Dan. I've known Dan for a good portion of my life. We've worked together in the past, and Dan's product, Advanced Shipping Manager, is a very, very cool product. So he's going to give us a demo today, and you can ask questions through the questions box throughout the presentation, and if we don't answer them during the presentation, we will answer them at the end. But we'll take that as it comes, and with that being said, here's Dan.
Hey Joe, thanks again. We're very excited to be working with 3D Cart, working on it for a while, and we already have a few stores using the system. Very, very happy. So, and the cooperation from your side is really amazing. So again, thank you. Advanced Shipping Manager. So just to give you everyone just a bit of background on our company, we've been out there for almost 10 years, servicing different e-commerce stores and different platforms, doing custom design and programming, mainly on databases and backends. And about 9 years ago, we decided to develop Advanced Shipping Manager based on customers' feedback. They were looking for different solutions for their problems. Because up until that point, everything was based on weight only. There weren't any complications, and then dropshippers started popping up, shipping from different locations, different warehouses, suppliers, and then different charges that the merchants are getting hit from dropshippers, and they came in need to be more specific and more accurate, especially now that people are shopping by shipping on the different engines, to really be accurate when quoting the shipping rates on the website in real time. Different challenges, whether it's the regular couriers, the parcels, or freight companies that need to be quoted. And basically, we're going to cover the different features that we have today with Advanced Shipping Manager, a few examples that we can do, and like Joe said, we'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. So how does Advanced Shipping Manager work? There are basically two control panels. One would be in 3D Cart Store on the item level, where a customer can edit the extra variables we're adding. We're adding different variables for different features. Of course, they're all optional. Nobody needs to use all of them, only the ones that are really applicable. And on the Advanced Shipping Manager side, there's a back end where you can define the different settings for the system, the different shipping rules that you have, shipping markups if you want. And basically, we can define on the item level the different settings. On the customer's end, when they check out in the store, they will just see the same drop-down with all the available methods and the rates to the customer. Everything will be combined together under just one shipping method name for each of the rules.
Dan?
Like I said, the couriers we support. Yes, sir.
We have a question that's related to what you were just speaking about. Is it okay if I ask that to you now?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, Dustin wants to know, he says, we want to be able to show all the different shipping methods for each dropship vendor to the customer at the checkout instead of combined in one lump sum shipping cost, and break out the handling fees as well. This way our customers know up front that products they ordered are shipping from different locations and that the shipping charges charged for each. Is it possible to do this?
In terms of the customer's end, right now everything remains the same, so all the calculations are done in the background. But I'm sure we can probably customize something to show visually on the checkout different breakdowns, whether it's the different locations they're coming from, the different markups, which is basically the handling fees. I'm sure we can find a way, but right now the system is not set that way now.
Okay, thanks.
Were there any other questions, or
nope.
for now?
That's it for now.
All right. So moving on, in terms of the couriers we support, of course, UPS, FedEx, and USPS. And as you can see, we support many freight companies, even freight brokers like Freight Quote, Unishippers, Echo Global. And then when the merchant set up the shipping rules, they can set from the brokers if they want the cheapest one, second cheapest one, et cetera, et cetera. When setting up a shipping rule, which I mentioned a few times, there's three main rule types that we cover. One is table-based, which allows to set up based on the amount of the items or the weight, and then we can do different tiers, like from 0 to X amount of pounds or X amount of dollars, charge a flat rate, from 5 pounds to 10, charge real-time rates, different things you can do, which is something we also call hybrid. And then real-time for the couriers, like I mentioned before, or hybrid, really take from 0 to $100 charge flat rate, from 100 to 200 charge real-time. Basically, unlimited options you can do with the back end. Just as an example, what you can do with the different shipping rules. In this scenario, the customer ordered 2 different items. He doesn't even know about the shipping from 2 different locations. And those locations are even using 2 different methods. So the method on the website would show, let's say, ground or standard, whatever the merchant wants to call it. And our system, based on the shipping rules from each job shipper, will calculate USPS for one job shipper, Fedex for the other, combine them together, and the customer at the end of the day will see, at the checkout, will see the shipping rate combined without even knowing what's going on behind the scenes. This is another example of one of the features we have. It's called a free shipping, global free shipping over a certain amount. So if the store offers free shipping over $800 in this example, but when you wish to exclude certain items from that promotion, they can set that the TV, in this case, would still be charging shipping, but the rest of the items will be free based on that global free shipping amount. We even have a setup to do it not just by item but by weight. So it'll be over $800, but if the cart weight goes over, let's say, 70 pounds, continue charging shipping.
Dan, is Canada Post approved for Advanced Shipping Manager?
Canada Post is not actually something we currently support. We are working on it already for one of the clients that signed with us. So it will be available probably within the next few weeks for everyone. That's another feature of our system. Whenever we have merchants that hire us to customize it for them, we just automatically enable it for everyone so everybody can enjoy the new features. It's a centralized system that whenever we release something, everybody will get it automatically. We don't change any rates. We don't charge more. So I think it's a nice perk to have. Any other questions, Joe?
No, that's all we got for now.
Okay. In this example on the screen, we are covering for different job ship fees, and I think the person that was asking the question before was mentioning the handling fees. So one job ship would charge a flat rate, another one would charge per item, another one would charge both of them. The different scenarios that we have, it's all covered in our back end where you can basically mimic the same fees that you're being charged to add it to the client. To go more specific on the shipping rules, different things you can do. You can create multiple shipping rules for the same method. So you will have 3 different rules for the same method, just with different settings. For instance, whether it's a minimum and maximum weight, or a minimum and maximum order value, or on top of a basic rule to charge extra for a certain state. Again, with the different complicated settings. I mean, this system can really get complex. Doesn't have to be, but it will really handle many challenges. We can split the multiple shipments if max weight is reached. The minimum maximum order value that I mentioned. Of course, the origin of the item, we can set up a different rule for different origin. To specific destination, block PO boxes. UPS will deliver the PO boxes, for instance, but they will charge the merchant a handling fee, and sometimes you want to prevent this. The calculation type that I mentioned before, the real-time, table-based, or both. Free shipping, the global free shipping setting on the shipping rule. We also have a free shipping on the item level, though I'll get to it in a few minutes. Minimum and maximum shipping charge, if you don't want to go over a certain amount and wish not to quote below a certain amount. Charge by percentage, flat rate, per item, per pound, and of course to mark up and down the different rules. If you wish to quote negotiated rates for a certain courier and then mark them up, you can do that. If you wish to quote published rates and then mark them down, another thing you can do.
Dan, how do you handle the FedEx ground and UPS home delivery charges?
They're real time. We do have a setting there on the system, whether it's residential or not. And based on that, we query UPS and FedEx, and they respond to us with the actual rate that they charge for those residences.
And I would imagine if you wanted to mark them up or down, you could do so as well.
Of course, yes, sir. So just to give another example for the multiple origin zip codes where items are shipped from 3 different locations to a single destination, and everything is calculated from their own location and then combined to one price under one method. Our system will also allow, it's another add-on that we have, to list multiple origin zip codes for a specific item. And then if you have multiple warehouses or multiple drop shippers that are shipping the same item, and you can ship from the closest to the customer, the system will automatically calculate the closest location. The different markets that we saw before, where you can charge handling fees for each of the drop shippers from their own locations by their own standards, whether it's a flat dollar amount, percentage, or the total or quantity of items. If you want to force an item to be shipped by itself, you can do that too, whether it's hazmat or really large items. That's where we usually see this setting being used. If you want to set dimensions for the item, so the item will be not just charging the regular weight, but dimensional weight. And we also have something called a point system where you can specify all your boxes, all their dimensions, and the weight that they weigh. And then on the item level, specify a point amount for each item so they can all be combined, and the system will choose the best combination of boxes, boxes, for the items in the shopping cart to ship them, again, in an accurate way to cover all the weight, dimensional weight, dimensions, and the minimum weight, the added weight that comes with the package, whether it's for packaging materials or the actual weight of the package.
Dan, can Shipping Manager be used to ship from warehouses outside of the USA, and are kilograms supported as well as pounds?
We do not support kilograms. We support pounds. This is actually the first time we get such a request, and we can definitely explore it. That's another thing I should have mentioned. We do offer customization to the system, and we have every week different customers, different merchants that are coming with requests, and we always glad to accommodate them all. In terms of kilogram, we don't support right now multiple locations outside the U.S. We do support Canada as the origin. Other than that, we've never had any requests to do anything else. So if there's someone that wants to ship from a different country, we can definitely explore that option.
Okay.
Invalid shipping methods, again, this is on the item level where you can set that item, specific item, would not cannot ship in a certain method. For instance, ground that cannot be used for perishable items, or heavyweight freight items that cannot be shipped and expedited. Those are just a few examples where you want to block those shipping methods. Divide overweight orders. If the maximum amount allowed on the shipping rule is exceeded, automatically we will determine, we will split the packages as much as needed. Of course, the maximum weight of every courier, whether it's UPS under 50 pounds or USPS, the 4-pound packages that they have, is automatically decided, but it can be overridden. With UPS, for instance, many merchants report that over 70 pounds are being really charged with a lot of money, so that's just a way to limit it to 70 pounds and then split it there, as an example. If you wish to charge by weight, you can also do that. It's another markup type that we have where you can set up different rules for different weights of packages to add more weight. So from the 0 to 5 pounds, add another half a pound. From 5 to 10, add another pound, and 10 and up, just add 2 more pounds to the package for better padding on the shipping rate.
Dan, so you can ship to foreign countries, correct? As long as the origin is from the U.S.?
Exactly. The origin needs to be in the U.S. or Canada, but shipping to, yeah, you can ship all over the world. We do support all the countries with all the couriers.
And can you do add-on fees by percentages instead of flat dollar amounts?
Yes. You can definitely charge by the percentage of the rate or the order, yes.
Awesome, thanks.
Product options, where you have sometimes a single item that have different options, but a different option represents a different weight and dimension optionally. We support that as well, where you can add to the weight or points if you're using our point system, or even switch the dimensions. Just like in this example, you have different mattresses. Free shipping. Every item can be set to be shipped for free with a specific method or methods. So if you want to offer ground and USPS priority, for instance, on your website for free for a specific item, you can. Other items will still charge money. Or you can do a global free shipping over a certain amount, and like we said before, exclude the global free shipping. This way you can make sure that items that you don't want to have shipped for free from your store, like heavyweight items like the TV that we saw before, they will still be charging for shipping. And like I said, on the settings, you can also do it to exclude by weight. So if the total weight of the cart goes over 50 pounds, still charge shipping. Flat shipping rates, which is another nice option we have, you can set on the item level for specific methods as a promotional tool that this item only today for 3 days select is $9.99. And of course, it'll combine with all the other items as well. We can even discount the flat shipping rate, so you can say that up to a 10 of the quantity of an item, it'll be $9.99, but from 10 and up, it'll be $8.99. And the last thing with flat shipping rates is also the groups. So if you wish to combine different items to use the flat rates or even the discounted flat rates, you can do that regardless of quantities. So whether or not they're buying 1, 10, or 100, the prices will be the same. Or in the discount case, the discount will apply to multiple items. You can combine different shirts or different pencils or different pens that will ship in the same package with priority mail flat rate, for instance. Just as an example that I saw merchants using it for. They would put a flat rate for priority mail, flat rate box, and combine it between the items.
Dan, we have a question from John. It's a very good question. I'm actually really curious myself on the answer. He says, currently our customers select their delivery method, but obviously they never select home delivery for FedEx. If we allow the customer to select the shipping method, such as FedEx Ground, will the system automatically apply the residential delivery surcharge?
The answer is no. The residential delivery surcharge is a setting in our backend, so the merchant would have to decide whether they want residential flag to be on or off. To be completely honest, this is the way we used it with the original platform we developed it for, which was limited in the information that we can get from the clients. With 3D Card, everything is possible, so we can definitely explore the option of adding a flag to let the customer. Oh, you're talking about determining the address, whether it's residential or commercial automatically, and then decide whether to add that flag.
Right, that's how I interpret the question.
I gotcha. Again, something we don't have in the system, nor it was requested before. We can definitely explore it because I know that we can definitely determine. Again, we're basing the information on what the customer enters. So if the address is validated properly with different couriers and they're able to return whether it's residential or commercial, we can definitely do that. And then we can always do a fail-safe mechanism that if the address cannot be validated, it'll stay commercial, residential, just to be more expensive. But again, this is not something currently in the system. Currently, it's just a setting in the back end whether it is residential should be charged or not. But it's definitely something we can explore. Any other questions?
No, we're good so far.
Okay. So markups and markdowns. This exists on the shipping rule level, like I mentioned before. You can mark up to account for handling fees, dropship fees, or mark down if you wish to quote less on a published rate, or wish to mark up a negotiated rate, or even on the item level, if you wish to charge for specific items a markup, you can do that as well, or mark down with a flat amount of dollars. Bundle item is another nice feature that we have. It's an add-on for customers that are shipping different items that can also be prepackaged in quantities. Just like an example here where you have a single can that is being sold. Its weight can be, let's say, just half a pound as a one single can, but when sold in a package of 24, instead of being 12 pounds, it's actually 14 pounds because there's different packaging materials, and it has dimensions, and now when sold in 24, dimensional weight would definitely kick in. So you can specify on the system what's the quantity threshold for that package, in this case 24, and then what's the weight of that threshold and the dimensions. This way, again, we achieve much more accuracy when quoting the different packages. Multi-box items for single items in the website that ship in multiple boxes, such as furniture sets. So if you buy a whole bedroom, the bed would ship by itself, the dresser would ship by itself, nightstands, etc. So you can specify to the system how many boxes are on that specific item, each box's weight, dimensions optionally, of course, and points if you are using our point system. Block PO boxes, this is pretty straightforward. If you don't want the method to be used with a PO box, we can definitely lock it. Hazmat, again, nice feature where you can mark an item, whether it's yes or no, hazmat, and based on that, on the actual rule, add another surcharge when that specific item is in the cart, or items. Of course, if that item is not in the cart, the quote will be, as usual, without the surcharge. Set the delivery, another option that we have, whether it'll be offered on a certain day of the week. So you may be shipping an item the next day, let's say on Friday, but the item takes processing time. So you may want to make that set of delivery available already on Tuesday or Wednesday, and you can decide whether or not. And of course, set of delivery has a surcharge to it, so you can set up the methods that are applicable for set of delivery in your system. Temperature-based rules. This is a nice add-on we have. Again, this is for perishable items. You can set up the threshold temperature, and based on a forecast of 5 days in the origin and destination, we will determine whether that threshold is reached, and if it is, you can block certain methods, add some pounds of ice to the calculation, add surcharges, and you can even still include specific states that are within the same zone of shipping. So the methods that were blocked would still be applied for them. So if we're shipping from Florida to Georgia, for instance, they're still in a one-day distance, and we wouldn't want to block ground because they're still going to get it in one day. However, to California, ground will be blocked because we're shipping from Florida and the weather is too hot, et cetera, et cetera. We have a fail-safe mechanism between UPS and FedEx. If one of them is down, it's a setting in the back end where you can actually switch. So the names of the methods will remain the same, but the equivalent parallel method will be quoted. So UPS ground with FedEx ground, 3-day with 3-day, etc. Free shipping countdown, just another add-on that we have on the shopping cart to show how much is needed still to purchase in order to get the global free shipping. And of course, items that are not participating in this promotion because they were excluded would not be counted towards the countdown. Method popular, just another add-on that we have for the system where only the available methods and the rates would show to the customer, all in radio buttons very nicely set in the checkout instead of a drop-down. It's just more visual to the customers, and they can choose which method to apply to the order. Delivery date estimator is another feature that we have to show the delivery date based on the processing time of the item, cutoff time of the day, and the actual transit time. So if you have multiple items in the checkout, we'll take the longest one, and next to each method will actually show delivery date based on those variables. And if it's a range on the processing time, let's say 1 to 2 days, we will also show the range of the delivery. This is a very nice feature that can really sell well on the checkout because customers may now see that even though next day air is $100 and it delivers tomorrow, ground may still be delivering the same day because I'm really close to the origin of that item, and I don't have to pay so much to get that item. So sometimes customers think it's a mistake and they just choose ground and finish the order really quickly. It's a nice conversion tool. That's basically the system. If there are any other questions,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
be more than happy to answer.
we've got questions, Dan. This one's sort of long. I'm going to just read it word for word because it's a little confusing to me, actually. In regards to adding flags for home delivery and ground, is there an option to have a commercial flag added for those customers with commercial addresses, as it is not the only way we can change this if the customer is doing a phone order and we ourselves have to change the shipping method for residential and commercial? Those customers with commercial addresses are always looking for the commercial discount.
Indeed, a good question. Not something we currently support, but we can definitely add it to the system.
Okay. Can we upload bulk shipping restrictions or any other attribute available for a large number of items?
That's a great question, and I'm sorry I didn't mention at the beginning. So like I said, on the item level, you can edit the different options. That would be one, the different attributes that we enter the system. That would be one option of editing them. The other one is using the database upload. So doing an import and export from the system just like any other variable. You can do that with our variable as well. So yes, when you have batches to upload, you can use a spreadsheet with all the, you can export the database and just fill in the blanks and push it back up.
Okay. For the delivery date estimator, can we choose certain warehouses that it would work for?
I have some questions back, so I recommend talking to us about it.
Okay. Well, we'll get your contact information for everybody before we end today.
Sure.
Can individual items be blocked from shipping to specific countries?
Yes, that's two more features that they failed to mention. We do have excluding states and countries on the item level, so you can definitely do that as well.
Can you also block specific zip codes?
For specific items or for specific methods? That would be my question.
Let's see if Jennifer can...
On the method level, yes, you can set up, on the method level, yes, you can set up exactly what zip codes or ranges of zip code it applies to, or even prefixes. Mm-hmm. On the item level, no, but again, something we can definitely accommodate.
So on the order level, yes, but on the item level, no.
Correct. On the method level,
method,
in terms of like global settings, yes.
Okay.
On the item level itself, no. Any other questions?
We're caught up. Anybody out there have some more questions for Dan? One thing for sure.
To mention in general, Joe, we build the system from customer feedback, and we keep enhancing it based on the same. So everything we're hearing now that I was saying that is not currently available is something we can definitely accommodate. I'm really happy to hear actually things that are not in the system, because for a long, long time we haven't received any of those. And we have over 700 merchants using the platform, the service right now from with different platforms. So, and it's been almost 9 years that we're selling this service. So getting more requests is really helping us, adding and developing more. So please, by all means, whomever has things to add, to ask, features to request, please do.
So this is a really good question, and I never thought of this one. Chris asks, can you have different rules for wholesale versus retail customers, meaning in our system you can have multiple levels, like customer levels. Can you have different shipping rules via customer level?
That's a really good question. In the previous platforms that we were working, it wasn't an available information that we know who's logged in and what level he is. With 3D Cart, the implementation was really, really smooth and so helpful with your team. So I'm sure we can accommodate it. So as long as we get that piece of information of what level it is, we can add something on our end to specify a shipping rule for each of those levels. So the answer is no, it's not something currently included, but it's something we can definitely do.
Okay. Oh, wow, the questions are coming up here. I'm losing my place. um, do you have to edit the products in 3D Cart and Shipping Manager, or does one updating information in one update the other?
Really good question. No, it's just in 3D Cart, one updates the other. You only edit it once in a central location where you manage your item database, and as soon as you save it and the query is performed to our service, we get all the information automatically.
Just to mention, Sarah's question is, are the slides available after the webinar closes? So the answer is yes. We do upload the video to YouTube. I also will send out a link to it to everybody who's registered for the webinar. So shortly after, you'll receive a link directly to the recording. On the delivery estimator, we have 14 warehouses, but only one doesn't ship to the customer. How could we block this one warehouse from being able to estimate delivery, since it has to come to us to ship and does not go straight to the customer? These are the items we would not want estimated.
Again, everything's doable. I do have a question back, so I recommend contacting us and discussing this in person.
Okay. Is there a method to handle charges for signature requirements? For example, first-time orders or addresses with apartment number and suite number.
That would be more on the fulfillment side, I would think, not on the quoting side, for rating purposes.
Right, but you have an option, though. No, I mean, you have an option to have signature required, right? And they charge for that. I think that's where Frank is asking the question.
I gotcha. In our system, we usually just use it as a markup. If you want to add it to your checkout and let the customer choose it, we can definitely accommodate it with the customization, but it's not something that is currently included with the system.
Yeah, I don't think the customer would probably select it. I think what he's saying is, if you have a first-time customer that has an apartment number, those are fraudulent a lot more than others, right? So he would want to send the orders signature required, which would then have an extra charge attached.
So make it an automated trigger when there's an apartment number, trigger that flag of quoting the signature required.
Okay.
Again, something we can definitely accommodate, sure.
Can you use different shipping methods at the same time, combining flat rate products with real-time products in one order?
Yes.
Okay. Jillian asks, what are the reasons for blocking a P.O. box?
If you are using UPS, for instance, and you want to ship to your customers and the customer is in a PO, UPS will deliver to it, but they will hit you with an $11 charge.
Okay.
So for UPS specifically, you wouldn't want them to use PO boxes.
How are shipments insured? Can a buyer choose in shipment amount to be insured? I don't understand that, but I mean, I guess what she's asking.
In our back end. Yeah, it's in terms of insurance, it's a setting in our back end of yes or no insure the packages in terms of quoting purposes. So it is an option.
Okay. I don't know if you're prepared for this, but we have one person asking, can you show examples on how to use the system to set up a dropshipper?
Not currently, but I do recommend calling us for a demo, and we'll gladly do a one-on-one. We have a nice team here that will gladly accommodate it.
Okay, so you guys will do a demo on the product?
Yes, and maybe this is the time to mention we have our services to support the system can be via phone, email, anywhere the customer wants. It's included in the monthly prices, which I failed to mention. The cost is $250 to install it through a 3D cart, and we charge a monthly fee of $75 a month for the first store. If you have additional stores, there's a 50% discount on the monthly.
Okay.
And our support time is 9:30 to 5:30, and we do have 365, 24/7 support emergencies.
Okay.
It's a premium paid service if somebody wants, but it is available. We take our customers' business very seriously.
If our customers wanted to see a demo or speak to your staff, how do they get in touch with you?
They can go to our website, advancedshippingmanager.com, and fill in a contact form, or they can call us at go to advancedshippingmanager.com, and from there they can contact us.
Okay, and also you can speak with or email or call your 3D cart account manager, as they're all skilled in the system, or I wouldn't say skilled, but all trained on the system as well. They can definitely get answers to your questions. For those of you who probably don't know our number, it's 800-828-6650. That'll put you into our phone system here. And I guess that would wrap it up for today. So any questions that you think of afterwards, you could email to sem@3dcart.com. That will enter in our ticket system, and I will make sure to get the questions over to Dan so he can answer them.
And like I said, your team is also able to answer many of the questions, so they can either contact your salespeople or directly ours.
Okay, and I would recommend anybody who's still here, if they wanted to see a specific demo or had specific questions on the shipping manager side, it might be better to reach out to Dan's team, because they have the ability to demo the product. So, sounds good, Dan.
Thank you so much, Joe, for hosting me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us today. I'll talk to you soon, Dan. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.